Hey everyone, welcome back. We're diving into the world of prosperity, and specifically the teachings of Unity Minister Martha Guidici.
Oh, interesting choice.
Right. We've got a ton of stuff actually, articles, some biographical stuff, even YouTube videos.
Wow. Okay, so we're talking a real deep dive into her life and teachings.
Exactly. But focusing on her unique take on prosperity, which I'm really excited to unpack.
Should be fascinating. Where do we even start with someone like that?
Well, I think starting with Guidici herself is good. I have to admit, I wasn't super familiar with her before this.
Yeah, she's not exactly a household name.
But I was checking out the Truth Unity website, and they describe her as a captivating speaker, which I have to say comes across in her videos.
Definitely dynamic.
Yeah.
And apparently that resonated. Even Connie Fillmore, one of the founders of Unity,
Oh, yeah.
credited Giudici with making their principles, accessible to everyday folks.
I did read that in Ellen Davenport's book, The Five Principles, I think it was.
Right. So we're talking about someone who doesn't shy away from making these spiritual concepts really practical, which is key with prosperity, right?
Absolutely. And it's not like she tiptoes around it either. She has a program called Why Not Be Rich? Bold.
I love that. Gets right to the point.
And she illustrates it with this great story about her daughter and a Martha Washington cream pie.
Hold on. A cream pie.
It's a whole thing, but basically it shows her belief in this overflowing abundance of the universe.
Not just scraping by, but like abundance galore. I
Oh.
kind of like that imagery.
Right, like say yes to the cream pie of the universe. But I'm curious, how does that translate to actual wealth?
Well, that's where her concept of substance comes in.
Yeah.
And she's not talking about just like physical stuff, but this infinite living substance.
Okay, then we're getting metaphysical.
A bit. But basically she's saying this substance is molded by our thoughts, shaping our reality.
So our thoughts are like the blueprint, and this substance is the builder.
Exactly. And to give you a concrete example, she has this story about her daughter's college tuition.
Oh gosh, I can only imagine.
Well, she didn't have the money, right? But she completely believed that God would provide. And guess what?
It worked out?
Right when she needed it, the money came through.
Wow. Talk about trusting the universe. Makes you wonder, though, is it really that simple?
Well, that's what we're going to find out. Giudici does offer some very specific steps.
Okay, so less theory, more action plan.
Exactly. She's all about aligning ourselves with this infinite substance.
All right, sign me up. What's step one?
First and foremost, you have to have a clear desire for what you want.
Makes sense. You can't just wish for stuff.
Right. And she emphasizes this with a story about going to a shop called Ortega's.
Okay.
It's a place with Indian artifacts and such. She was looking for a God's eye, those woven things.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those.
But she ends up finding this incredible coral branch instead. Totally falls in love with it.
Yeah.
And it was half price.
It's like the universe was saying, here's something even better. I love that. But is it just about being lucky?
That's just it. It's about more than luck. It's about being open to receiving, to those little nudges from the universe, even if they're not what you expected.
So we've got the desire, the openness.
Right.
What else is there?
Well, she talks about this idea of clearing.
Clearing.
Like flutter, exactly. But it's not just about physical stuff, though. That's part of it. It's also about clearing out those limiting beliefs.
Oh, I can see how those two go hand in hand. Sometimes you just need a good clean out, right? Feels good to let go.
And Giudici really drives this point home with a story about her friend, Miriam.
Okay.
Miriam's moving overseas, and she was having the hardest time getting rid of stuff. Turns out, she grew up with what Giudici calls this poverty consciousness.
Like always being afraid of scarcity.
Exactly. Always told to hold on to things just in case. So her physical clutter was really a reflection of that deeper belief.
Wow, I never thought about it like that, but it makes sense. Our space is reflecting our beliefs. So what did she do?
They had this massive garage sale, got rid of a ton, and afterwards, Miriam told Giudici she felt lighter, like a weight lifted.
Both physically and mentally, I bet. Did she make any money from the sale?
She did. Enough to buy new stuff for her new place abroad. Stuff she actually needed and wanted.
There you go. Clearing creates space for new things to come in. Love it. But it's more than just decluttering, right?
You got it. Giudici talks about partnering with a higher power, aligning ourselves with that divine support.
I like that. Not just relying on ourselves, but tapping into something bigger. But how do you actually do that? It seems kind of abstract.
She uses this example of the department store, Lord & Taylor.
Okay.
So the founder, Mr. Taylor, he was really devout, believed in putting God first in his business.
Yeah.
Lord & Taylor. They became incredibly successful.
Ah, I see where you're going with this. So it's about recognizing that we're not alone in this, that there's a force working with us.
Exactly. But even with that support, we all have those pesky limiting beliefs, right?
Oh, tell me about it. The ones that tell you you're not good enough or you can't have it all. What does Juji say about those?
She tackles them head on.
Give me the lowdown.
We talked about the poverty consciousness already, that feeling of scarcity.
Right, right.
And Giudice even talks about her own upbringing, how she was always told to make do.
And those messages, they stick with you, even if they weren't meant to be harmful.
Totally. And then there's the belief of unworthiness.
Yeah, that one's
Mm.
the worst. That feeling of not being deserving of abundance.
And she tackles that one. The story of the rich young man who couldn't follow Jesus because he was so attached to his possessions.
Interesting. Because Jesus wasn't condemning wealth itself,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. It was about the attachment, the fear of letting go. It's about our relationship with abundance, not judging it as good or bad.
That's a helpful distinction, but how do we shift from that fear to a place of, like, openness and trust?
Giudice talks about it in terms of life energy. Where are we choosing to invest our energy?
Okay, I like that.
We can keep dumping it into those rat holes of negativity and lack,
Or
we can choose to invest it in positive thoughts and beliefs. It's a conscious choice.
so it's not just about thinking positive and poof, everything changes.
It's a practice, a daily commitment. She actually tells this other story about a friend, also named Miriam, who was hospitalized.
Oh no, not another Miriam.
This is a different one, but she was really down, seemed to have given up.
Oh, that's hard.
So Giudice, she goes to visit her and basically tells her, stop feeding those rat holes. Choose life.
Wow, tough love. Did it work?
It did. Miriam, she really turned things around, started focusing on healing, on the good stuff. She even learned how to swim. Always thought she couldn't because of a physical limitation.
No way. That's incredible. So just by shifting her focus, she opened herself up to a whole new way of being.
It's powerful stuff. And that's
Yeah.
what Giudice's all about.
It really is. Makes you think about where we're putting our energy, you know? And speaking of energy, Giudice, she has these powerful prospering declarations in her Why Not Be Rich program. Have you looked at those?
I have, and there's something else. Not your average affirmations, that's for sure.
They're pretty intense, right? Like laser focused on busting those limiting beliefs we've been talking about.
Exactly. Replacing them with, like, abundance charged statements. It's kind of brilliant, actually.
Totally. Reprogramming your internal dialogue. Some of them really got to me, like, it is my Father's good pleasure to give me the kingdom of all good.
Whoa. Right. Powerful stuff. It's that inherent deservingness, Like, the universe wants to give us good things.
We don't have to prove ourselves worthy.
Not at all. It's ours to claim.
And there's that other one. Prosperity is my spiritual right. I dare to prosper. Now do you.
Dare to prosper. Love that. It's a call to action.
It really is. Like, stop wishing. Start living it. You know, going through all of this with Giudice, I feel this sense of, I don't know, possibility.
It's contagious, isn't it? That energy she brings.
Yeah, totally. Like, abundance isn't just for some lucky few. It's available to everyone.
If we choose to embrace it.
Exactly. And that's the journey, right? Might not be easy, but definitely worth it.
Couldn't agree more.
So, to everyone listening, think about this. What if you truly believed in your core that you deserved all the good stuff? The wealth, the joy, the fulfillment, everything. Just something to chew on as you go about your day. Thanks for being here for another deep dive, everyone.